Welcome to Raw Talk, Real Healing.
It's like therapy, but with more laughs and less copays.
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Diana.
We're licensed therapists.
But here, we just want to have raw and unapologetic conversations.
So come vibe with us, where professional meets personal.
Let's get it.
Welcome back to Raw Talk Tuesday.
Welcome back, guys.
How you feeling today?
I feel tired.
Me too.
You know, like when your eyes just feel tired and like your brain is like foggy?
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling. So if I can't speak today, you'll know why. You said you had something to tell me and you made me wait. I'm waiting. Clock is ticking.
I said, you know what? I'm going to wait because this shit had me tripping in session. Shout out to my client today, this morning or this afternoon, because we were talking about like dating, and then I don't even know how we got on this subject. But did you know there is I don't even know if I said that right. There's a thing called, vajazzle.
No. Can I try to guess what it is?
Bitch, that's the shit that I said. I was like, okay, wait, time out. She was like going on and on. She's like, yeah, you didn't see this on TikTok? And she's like, yeah, when I go get my wax, I'm going to get a vajazzle.
Wait a minute. I've heard of vajacial.
No.
Okay.
A vajacial?
It's like a facial.
For your vagina.
Did she bedazzle her clit or something?
Is this you guessing?
Yes.
Take another one. Another guess.
She bedazzled something.
Yes.
Where do you put the gems? On your clit. Or like...
No, okay, I think it's just like literally on...
Yeah, but how do they stick?
It's the fucking... You remember those rhinestone little glitter tattoos?
Yes, I used to get dolphin ones on the boardwalk all the time from the 99-cent store.
You can ask, and a lot of people, she was like, I'm about to text my wax lady now. She's like, oh yeah, I got vajazzles. We can get that done. I can do it or some shit like that. I was like, shut the
So did she get a vajazzle?
Well, no, she just realized that her wax lady, I was like, I'm gonna ask some money. You imagine? I'm like, can you vajazzle me?
I feel like Nicole doesn't have that.
No, she probably won't. I mean, I would never do that. Yo. I was like, I have to say this because my mind was blown away.
What an intro.
What an intro. I was like, this is going to be our intro. And I'm not even, because I wanted to see your reaction. I wanted to see your faces. I'm like, I wonder if she knows. Or ever heard of it.
It makes sense, like a vajazzle, but I didn't know that was a thing.
Ladies.
Can't say I'll be getting one.
Right. I'm like, is that even like sanitary?
I would think so. I don't, it's up top.
I don't know.
It's not like it's in there.
That would be like itchy and bothery.
Probably. It would probably come off quick too.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like you shower and stuff.
I guess it's cute for like a date or a Valentine. Even though, I'm not gonna lie, right? If I was a man and I saw that shit, I'd be like,
oh my God, I'm trying to think.
I'm walking away because something wrong with you.
I'm trying to think like what would I get that would be like hilarious for Mike? I gotta get like a bow tie pasta or something.
On that note,
that would be hilarious. He would think that's hilarious.
No, he would die. That's funny. That is funny.
Wow.
Yeah. See, look, we learn something new every day.
We do. Just like we're going to learn a new version of ourselves in our new season.
I love that. I did like this topic because I feel like I be relearning myself every week.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I always say is like, I feel like I have lived 29 lifetimes in the last 10 years. So I feel like I've had to relearn myself a bunch. And it's really hard, I think.
I know. And you're barely 30. Like, that's crazy.
I know, but my 20s were a tough time.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I feel like this younger, like, generation, population, whatever you want to call it, they be stressed the fuck out, like, in their, like, early ass 20s, like, about life and where they are and career and, like, all of the things. And in my head, I'd be like, damn, I wasn't thinking about none of that shit.
You were?
No.
Mm.
I didn't even get my life together till I was like 27, 28, maybe.
I didn't either.
That's when I went back to school. That's when I went back to school for my master's. I think when I was like 27, 28.
No, I remember thinking by like 25 I was going to have it like all figured out.
Where does that come from?
I don't know, but I know where mine comes from. Like, my parents have always pushed, like, at this age, we were having our second kid, buying our home, making this amount of money, like, already here, doing this, this, and this. And, like, times are different, right? Like, we know that. But I feel like for me, there was always, like, that pressure of, like, when you finish high school, like, you're going to college, like, you're doing this, and, like, you need to be successful. And I don't know why. I just feel like in my own mind, I thought that like that was the time frame. But I also think my sister plays a role in that too, because my sister moved out and got married and had her first kid pretty young. Like, she was only 27 when she had Charlie, but at that point she had already been married. She had moved out of our house at like 22. So for me to still be home 28, like not having a relationship yet, like I always kind of compared myself to her, and I felt like I wasn't doing anything right.
Well, let me back up, because that's also not true. That's you going back because of a difficult time. You were out of your household at 20 what?
I think like 25.
Right.
25 or 26.
You were out, you done went
25.
somewhere to another state. You had a whole life. You were practicing you were like an intern there, or like,
no,
you
I
were
was
a
technically
therapist.
like an LAC there.
Okay, yeah, you know what I mean? So like you were building a life. It just happened to not work out the way, that it was going on, and you came back. You know what I mean? So it's not like you didn't do anything in that time.
No, I definitely think I did. I did do like a lot. That was scary for me. That was a huge thing that I did. And then coming back, like I was always very hard on myself that I was like starting over, starting fresh. Like that played a big role in like the way that my life had transpired, which I'm so grateful for it. But I also think in that time I had to learn like who I was again. And my dad had said something to me maybe like a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. He was like, when did you start your office? Like, when did you get your office and start doing outpatient at Bridge? And I was like 3 years ago. And he was like, okay. He goes, 3 years. Think about how much you have done in just 3 years, and you're still at the beginning of your career.
Yeah.
So I feel like when he put it into perspective that way, he was like, I'm really proud of you. Like you started your own business, you moved out, you have a boyfriend, like you're trying to start a life, like you have your dog. So big things have changed, but I feel like this is that part where like you have to relearn who you are in these moments instead of comparing like, oh, I thought I was going to have it all together by 25. Ha. Cuz that's crazy.
Right. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You don't have to answer.
I will. Maybe.
Is that why you won't move to Florida? Like that's your non-negotiable? Like absolutely not.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I remember when I first started talking to Mike and I told him like that was my non-negotiable. This is interesting. This is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like had I not moved then, I would have 1000% been willing to move for him. However, I think when I moved the first time, I moved for the wrong reasons. So I think I was like trying to chase something that I thought that was going to make it better. And that was very much like me. That was like the last thing I could do to feel like worthy, I guess. So I think now it would it's hard to say because there are a couple different things. Like, I wouldn't want to leave my nieces at this point because they're grown now. Like, they would know that
They're grown?
I'm
Did you just say they're grown? Okay, give me their ages right now.
5, 4, and 3 months. I'm not talking about the 3-month-old. I'm talking about the bigger two, the big ones. That's what we call them.
Okay, you know how old my niece is?
She grown.
She 22.
Okay.
She grown.
You know what I mean? Like, when I left them the first time, that they weren't really like cognizant of the fact that like I would be missing out on things.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and even still, it was extremely, extremely hard. So I do think about that now, and I do kind of feel really bad sometimes that it is such a hard no for me, because I feel like that's also based off of fear.
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Like, I definitely think that that's based off of fear in a way that, like, I could. Like, realistically, at this point, I could. Like, I would have, like, connections there. Like, I think it would be workable. But I just don't want to. And, like, I kind of feel bad. I do say to him that I would like to get to a point where, like, we could go back and forth. Because, like, obviously with our work, like, that's a possible thing. My therapist actually does that. So, like, I would like to at some point be able to spend like some time there and some time here, but I just don't know what that would look like.
Yeah.
It would just be really hard for me because I did it once and it just wasn't worth it. So I'm too scared to do that again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just thought about that when you were talking about it. I'm like, I wonder, because that was like relearning a whole new you coming back. And I know that was hard.
It was learning a whole, like, I think that this time period of my life was a lot of learning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I learned a lot about myself while I was in that. And I think I grieved some of maybe who I was. Some aspects, not all.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely like a life-altering experience.
It is. Moving is. I'm totally fearful of moving, and because Jamal always like, I don't like New Jersey. We're gonna, move, and I'm like, I'm not moving. I mean, I would move obviously if that, if it was in the cards and everything made sense. But like moving away from your family is hard.
Mm-hmm. Like, I do give Mike a lot of credit for that. Like, I know that that's really hard, but I feel like I always kind of go back on the aspect of like, but I did tell you.
I communicated that.
Right. But that doesn't mean it makes it easier.
Yeah. Have you ever asked yourself, like, who am I right now?
Yes.
What you come up with?
At that, like, in my dark times, when I moved, that was a time of like, I was like, who the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, there were behaviors that I was doing. There was thoughts that I was having. Like, this is so sad. But I remember there was like some kind of argument. And like, again, not my proudest moments at this time in my life. But there was one day, and I never, ever, 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 ever had suicidal ideation in my life. Never. There was one day, and that was the day where I was like, I have to get the fuck up out of here. So in that moment, I was like, what are you doing? Who are you right now that you literally just thought, like, I remember I was standing in the doorway of like the bedroom, and I was like holding on to the wall, and I like wanted to like bang my head against the wall. And I literally thought to myself, like, I'd rather fucking be dead than be doing this right now. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Like, I was never like that. So definitely not grieving that person. But in that moment, I was like, absolutely not. You got to go.
Yeah. Well, thank God that you were able to
I feel like that was like a big turning point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I couldn't believe that thought ever even crossed my mind.
Wow.
Right?
I don't know if I ever thought like, who am I right now in a negative light, maybe in a positive way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, wow. Like if you would have asked me 10, I don't know, 20, 15, 20 years ago that I would be a therapist doing private practice and, you know, as just blessed, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, I don't know, like I said, even in my 20s, like I wasn't thinking about like, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't taking life serious. I was just going with the flow.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. And maybe I just didn't see things, you know, like what they could be. So
I feel like sometimes it's hard, especially like, I don't know what your childhood was like, but like, I know some of what y'all was doing, man. I don't know that you probably saw yourself in this light, right? And I mean, I've definitely had moments of like gratitude, I think, where it's like, wow, this is what I've worked really hard for. And like, I can't remember exactly what the event was. I don't know if it was when I decided I was leaving Bridge and doing my new office or when I was moving out. I remember I was just like driving. I think it was when I was moving out. I remember I was driving and I started to cry. I was just like so grateful for like my life and like the opportunities that I have. And again, like I always think about like how much I've grown in the last 4 years since coming back. It's like I used to have, this is so terrible, but I think I mentioned this before that my nickname, we used to call me Fat Gap. Did I tell you that?
no.
Okay, anyways.
Fuck used to call you that. That should just piss me off.
I would say it, my brother, like we would all, like when I got really, really skinny, we'd be like, oh, that was Fat Gab.
I can't stand y'all.
But anyways, so that was used to be like my BC and like, what is it? Beast before Christ and what is the other one?
Don't get me to lying. I don't know.
Okay, anyway, like years.
After death?
BC and yes, okay. Old Testament, New Testament. Okay. But now it's like pre-Texas, after Texas. So like in the like if I really sit and reflect like on the last 4 years, it's like
yeah. I remember, and I think I have said this before. I remember my brother-in-law saying like, I'm proud of you. It was for a second there, I thought you weren't gonna make it in life. and it makes sense though, like thinking about it, because it was just like I was just again going with the flow. Like I wasn't worried and stressed out like, you know, these young adults are now that I see, and like I'm 23 and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't have this, and I'm just like,
but 23 is like that's young.
I know, but the 23 to 26, like that, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I should have this. I should have this. I should have this. I was like,
I didn't.
What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, that's totally, you know, totally okay. And I think if we force it,
it's wrong.
You're not going to really like the outcome. Right. Sometimes you have to let things just fall into place. You know what I mean? I'm not saying YOLO and wild out and like just wait for the greatest opportunity. You're not going to walk outside and, you know,
it be on your doorstep.
Exactly. You know, but if you continue just to do the work in yourself, you know, and everyone, I think, gets to a point where they realize that something has to change.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think I can remember clearly when that day was. You know, I was like, what am I doing? Like, that's literally what I asked myself.
Can you share or no? You don't want to?
What do you mean? At that time?
Yeah, what was that day? Girl,
I was on my couch smoking and I was like...
In the house?
Yeah. I know. Terrible. This was a long time ago. And I was like, ew. Literally, I was like, I just felt dumb. I literally felt stupid. You ever get that moment like...
Yeah, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Like, why am I... Like, I didn't even feel right. And from that moment on, I put that shit down. And my life has just... It's been up.
It's been up.
It's been up and lit because, I don't know, I feel like it's just one of those moments that it clicked and it didn't feel right. And I was like, all right, time to kick up. Time to turn up. And that's, I'm like, I don't want, okay, I'm done living this version
Right.
of myself.
What do you feel like was the first thing that you changed? Besides like stopping that, like what was your first like step up?
I think just taking things more seriously. You know what I mean? I think I was in school at that, like I literally just started,
Okay.
I think. Or maybe I was a year, I don't know, I can't remember the timeline, but I think it was just like focusing, just getting a clear mind, thinking of what I, wanted to do, goals,
Yeah.
stuff like that, and just staying on track. Like it wasn't even nothing major that I did besides just stop smoking.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
But
that's it.
sometimes I think that can, like for some, obviously it affects everybody different, but I feel like some people like really need like a little nudge to just be like, you know what, let me put this down. Because it can hold some people back. I think it keeps a lot of people in a comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I ain't knocking nobody, to each his
Right.
own. It's just not. I at that moment realized like it's not for me. In this version of my life, in this, this space, I don't hold the space for that.
So like in this space that you are, right? Do you feel like you know this version? Like are you like confident in who this version is, or do you feel like there's still some work to be done? And not to say like obviously we all have things that we could work on, right? But like this version.
I really love this version of myself, and I think I know it pretty well. I think it's the most confident I've ever been, the most secure I've ever been, just in a really good space, and I'm comfortable with it. But like you said, I'm always learning new things too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As I go, and I'm like, ooh, I really like that, because this is a version where I know what boundaries look like. I know what non-negotiable looks like. Jamal and I work really hard in our relationship to know, like we just serve each other in our relationship. And that's like really well, like just knowing, and like the woman, that I've become. And I look back, I'm like, wow, it's so funny because we were literally having a conversation with Camille, the other night. And it always seems to be right at bedtime too.
That's the best time. That's when I have important conversations too.
And we were just basically saying like, no one taught us a lot of the things that we do with you. And like, so sometimes she's like, I think it was, I forget what it was. It might have been like Jamal and I just like sharing affection with one another. And, she'll always make a face like, that's gross. Like normal kid stuff. But we're like, you know what? And Jamal was like, I want to teach you what love looks like. I can't sit here and tell Diana and tell you and, say this like, oh, I love you, and not show it. So like every day I want you to see, because one day I want you to have a husband, and I want you to know, what your husband needs to do. Like, there's no bare minimum, and he's like, so when you see me come in here and I have flowers, for Diana, or when I'm giving her a hug, when any chance I get, whatever it is, he's like, this is when you care for someone. This is when you love someone. And she was like, huh, okay. And then she started asking questions.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's so important, you know what I mean? Because I didn't grow up with an example of what that looked like. I think a lot of us, didn't. My grandparents raised me. I didn't even live with my mother or my father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was.
But did your grandparents show you like that loving relationship?
Oh yeah, they poured love into me as,
What about each other?
Well, it just was different.
Yeah.
Spanish household is just different. My grandpa was always, I just said that, man, funny, grandpa. My grandfather was always just grinding.
Yeah.
He work. Like he was out all day, and we come home, you get food on the table, and you relaxing and chilling, and that's it. So I
Yeah.
never lacked love in my household. If it's one thing, I used to always say, we ain't have all the money in the world, but
Got a
love,
lot of love.
lots of it. But I'm talking about what a healthy dynamic looked like, because for the longest time, my mom was always a single mom. You know what I mean? So it was just different. So I'm like thinking, and I'm like, wow, like where I have come, like this space in my life, you know what I mean? And sometimes, like, even thinking about it, you're like, that's why these things don't interest me no more. That's why I don't hold space
Right.
for certain people anymore. And like, it's nothing personal.
No.
It's nothing personal. It's like, this is where I am in life. This is how I'm, filling myself up. And like, this is what I learned. These are my non-negotiables. These are my boundaries. This is how I get to feel good for myself.
Yeah, and I think even in like one of the things that we talked about in last week's episode, I think it was a situationship one. And we were like, oh, like, do you need another one? And I was like, maybe. But I feel like this is kind of what I was saying. Like, you learned that you don't hold space for these things anymore because you have learned from those experiences and grown. So, like, like I said, I have changed a lot in the last, 4 years. And even though, like I said, there are maybe some aspects of that other person that I miss, but I feel like where I am now, I am definitely more sure of like who I am, what I am, like what I bring to the table for a relationship, what I bring to the table in a friendship. Like, I am very sure of myself in that way, where I think before I wasn't, and I always kind of questioned myself and my abilities and things like that. So I feel like I do know like this version of myself, and I think it is one of my favorites. I think I'm a lot like more healthy, like mentally, like I can set boundaries. I know my limitations, and I think that that's really, really, really important to know about like who you are, because I think that helps grow like self-respect and things like that too.
Yeah. Sometimes it's so hard because people get stuck in the past. Like, I don't have to be that version.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to put me in a category
Right.
because you think you know who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard for people to understand, like, you don't have to pay a life sentence for something you did
Right.
10, 15, 20 years ago when you had no idea, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or no one taught you how to do shit the right way, or
Right.
whatever that looked like. So it's okay to be different, to move forward. I always say that, I think it was Jay-Z said it, like, I ain't worked this hard to stay the same or to stay where I am.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, you
Right.
have to change. You have to
Right.
understand that that's what growth is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And talking about like growth, let's think about like how we outgrow things, right? We outgrow friends. It's nothing personal. It has nothing to do with like, oh, I don't like this person or this person. Like, I just feel like when you are in a different stage or space in your
Right.
life, you have to be wise
Mm-hmm.
on the things that you allow in your home, like outside. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing that I'm grateful for, is Jamal and I are always on that same page. Like, we're very wary of who comes into our household.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really have like friends, like our close friends and stuff like that. And not saying that if y'all not close friends, but just it just is different. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to be very careful of what that looks like.
And I feel like like sometimes it finally makes sense, because like I remember when I was little, or like even just like in middle school, and like I was allowed to have sleepovers and things like that, but my parents were very like particular about like where I went and who was allowed to come over. I remember when I was younger, I would be like so annoyed. I'd be like, oh, like all my friends are going, like I just want to go. And then it's like I look back now and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I'd tell Camille this all the time. And when she'll say, like, remember you asked her about the phone the one time when my friends have a phone or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I used to be like, you know what my mom used to tell me? You ain't your friend and I ain't your friend's mom. Get over it.
You know, my mom used to tell me,
Period.
my mom used to be like, if your friend was going to jump off a bridge, were you going to jump off a bridge too?
That one too.
And I used to be like, yes. Actually, yes.
Jerk.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, actually, my friends, they do go bridge jumping and they jump into this river, but I'm too scared.
Yeah. I think also, I think we, like for me, at least I'm going to speak for me, like I really hold value in like people and friendships and my family and stuff like that. And so sometimes it was really hard for me to like let go of people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I struggled, with that, like, well, I love this person, so much. And like I care about this person, whatever it is. But you have to be able to know when you're growing.
Right.
And relearn that I can love you from all the way over here. That doesn't mean I don't care about you. That doesn't mean I don't pray for you. That doesn't mean, that you're not in my thoughts all the time. But we just can't be in the same place because that's not where I am. You know what I mean?
True.
And that's hard, because if you're a person who like just gets really I don't know, like attached to people or like being a good friend. Like, does this mean I'm not being a good friend or whatever?
Right.
And that's not true.
You know what? I like that you just said that because I had a very close friend that I spent a lot of time with, and like they never did anything wrong to me. Like they honestly were a really great friend. But just like the space that they would spend time in and just like different things, I started to distance myself, and I remember feeling like really, really bad about it. And I was like, it's not that I don't like this person anymore. It's not that. It's not that. Like I just felt like I outgrew that situation, and I was like, this is just not how I want to spend my free time anymore. And that's okay.
That's so okay. And even if like I'm sharing something and you don't understand it, or we just don't have those things in common anymore, like that's okay. You can outgrow people. You can outgrow routines. You can outgrow certain lifestyles, certain mindsets. You know what I'm saying? I know I can't get nuck if you buck every 5 seconds or when I'm out in the street.
I was just going to say, what kind of mindset do you think you've outgrown?
A lot. A lot. If my bestie Diana, shout out to my boo, if she was here, she would be cracking up because we would be in school and we would like go out, and if we were like drinking before, forget about it. We would be in the elevator and I'd just be like looking at people like, what are you looking at? Like just crazy. Like
I don't think we could be friends.
No.
I'd be so scared of you.
And she'd be like, come on, we're just going back. Like, it's not worth it. We're not going out today. We're going back to the room. And I mean, that did not happen often. But like it was just.
That's crazy because I feel like, I mean, I know that like you can be like that, but I just feel like you're very like peaceful too at the same time though. So it's like you can get nuck if you buck, I guess. And like it like seeps out a little bit, but I feel like most of the time you're very just like,
Yeah. I think that just comes again from like childhood experiences, growing up, different, events. I don't want to say trauma or nothing like that, but, growing up and a lot of defense mechanisms for sure. You know what I mean? That you think like you have to be like everybody's watching me kind of thing. Everybody is like this, or I got to defend myself, or like, I got to perform, in this time. And like, it's dumb.
What kind of routine do you think you've outgrown? Because I was sitting here looking and I'm like, routines. I know like a routine that I have outgrown that like sometimes I wish I could get back to, but but what kind of routine do you think?
I think for me personally, where like you're putting everybody else first and you're doing all of these, other things or the routines of like Maybe you're in a space where you're just really into going out with your friends and doing specific things, and that's just not what life looks like, right now. Or like sleeping in and, taking your time here and doing whatever. Sometimes things just change.
Okay. I could see that. The only routine I'm thinking about that I haven't gotten back to is my workouts, but the last 4 weeks, my Saturday morning routine has been the same. So you know what? I'll take it.
Listen, we'll take it and run with it.
Yeah, that one's been good for me. I'm trying to think. When you were saying like going out and like doing all of that, I feel like that is definitely something that has changed for me. Because I was walling out for a minute. I don't be doing that crazy stuff anymore. Sometimes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much, just my arm.
Oh, yeah.
However, I feel like...
And Rose is very good at twisting everybody's arm.
She can twist. She don't have to even twist my pinky. She could get me going.
Yeah. Love her energy.
I know. But that's because I know that like in that way we're like very much the same. And like I can vibe with that. But yeah.
Yeah. One thing that you said earlier that I wanted to touch on too is like missing old versions. Is it bad that we miss old versions?
I don't think so. I don't think it's bad because it was still a part of our life that taught us something, right? And I think it's very the most top tier version of myself that I miss is like 16-year-old me.
Oh, girl.
16-year-old me swore she had it poppin'. Listen. I couldn't drive yet, right? But my best friend could drive. And that girl, Brianna, that girl drove me everywhere in her little green Jetta. We had the best times in that car, but it was like that time where like I worked a little bit, but like I felt free in a way of like no responsibilities, didn't have to care, like that was like such a time. I never had I don't think I had anxiety or anything back then. Like I was very much just like having a grand old time. I didn't really have like a serious relationship yet at that point. I was just like living my best life.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
When you have responsibilities, it's just all different. So like I think about like even like some parents like maybe missing versions like when they didn't have children and like things being easier. And sometimes we feel wrong about that. Like, why does that feel wrong? And you don't have to feel guilty for missing some old things because they are a part of your life. Like you said, that doesn't mean you want to back.
No.
God, no.
I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. God, no, I don't want anything, from
I wouldn't
there.
go back.
But give yourself that space to say, like, that's okay. I can think about it. I can feel, this kind of way about it. I can miss when I used to be able, to go on a shopping spree and spend,
I was broke back then. Couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, no, wouldn't go back. I don't think there's a part of my life that I would choose to go back to.
Me either. I mean, besides being a kid and like having no responsibility and just being like a freeloader and eating my grandma food every day.
Yeah, and like playing outside and just
playing outside that, but like another version besides that, no, thank you. No, absolutely not.
I just thought about this and this kind of made me really sad. Because, like, when you think about being a kid, like, all the people that were around and, like, the people that are no longer here, I wish I could go, like, time travel, but be this version and see those people.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me sad.
Oh, my gosh. Now that you said that, I was literally talking to Nicole, my sister Nicole, about this. We have an uncle who passed away. I was, like, 15.
Same.
Yeah, I was like 15 and he was only like 26. Like he was really, really young, but he was like the youngest uncle, the cool uncle.
Yeah, the fun one.
Yeah. And I was thinking and I was like, I just had a thought like, not only like if he can see me now, but like what I would give to have a conversation with him right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dang.
Me and my sister say this all the time because it's weird that you say that because our youngest uncle, my Uncle Justin, he died when he was 37 or 38.
Wow.
He had cancer and terrible. But I was in high school and my sister, I don't know what grade she was in. She wasn't in high school. She had to be in college. But I was in high school and he was so fun. Like the memories that we have with him are like absolutely insane. It was my mom's brother, but then like him and my dad were like besties. Like he would be over all the time and like what, like just a good time. And me and my sister always say like, I wish we could just have gone to the bar with him one time or like gone out and like drank with him. But never got the chance.
I know.
But that would, oh my God, it would be insane.
Yeah.
It would be insane.
That's crazy. I literally, it must have been like a couple days ago that I literally just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I had to be like 15.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the call and I was in French class. I remember I had a substitute. But anyway.
I don't remember where I was. You had a substitute. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
It was expected. He was in like a coma for a while, so I feel like that's why I don't.
Yeah, this one wasn't, so that's why I was like, I remember I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, stop playing, you know?
Right?
But yeah. There's not a time that I would go back besides, like you said, those, you know, being this age, because I really do like this version.
Yeah.
Like this version is good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think about, you know, growing, like being married and like having a kid, a child, you know, and what that version is going to look like. That scares me. I'm not going to lie.
The fuck out.
Yes. I was like, the other day I was so tired. I was like, oh my God, imagine having a toddler right now. Woo! I don't know. That seems like a lot.
However, if you had a toddler, other aspects of your life would look different too. So like, think about how much we work at this point. Like you couldn't, you know, like you wouldn't be able to nearly as much as you do now. So would you be tired? Yeah, but I think from different things.
Yeah.
Different things.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Do you ever grieve any other version of yourself?
I don't think so. But I feel like because I feel comfortable with where I am now, I feel like that's why. Yeah. And like I said, you know, those other versions of myself, I don't think of negatively at all, but I'm just like, wow, I feel bad. Not feel bad. I don't know, like your inner child, like you feel for that person. Yeah. So I feel like if anything, I feel like empathy for that person, but no grief.
Yeah. What do you think relearning yourself looks like? Or what does it take?
Ooh, I think it looks like grace. I think it looks like being kind to yourself. Because again, you know, even though I do really like this version of myself, there are some aspects that haven't come along. And sometimes I'm like kind of hard on myself of like, oh, I used to do X, Y, and Z. But like I used to run 4 miles all the time. Like, would I love to run 4 miles all the time again? Yeah, but when? Like, so when I did that, so much of my life was different. So it's like, I have to remember that along with everything else that has changed, like those aspects are going to look different too. So I think it's just, you know, giving yourself grace and being able to recognize where the growth is and being able to recognize like the positive things. Because not everything is meant for, you know, your whole life. Some things are just meant for a season. And I don't know. I definitely think like grace and patience.
That's good. I like that. Once I learned that everything isn't the same in every season of your life, that was a game changer.
It's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to take everything with you. Everything is, I always say a lesson or a blessing, at that point. So take it for what it is and like be able to move forward. Sometimes you like things in this season and the next you're like, I'm changing it. One time I could be like super duper OCD crazy, and being, just crazy in the house. And the other seasons I'm like, I'm giving myself grace this season. So like sometimes I gotta like lock in, you know what I mean? And like play, no fun. I mean, all play, no fun. All work, no play or whatever it is. And then sometimes it's like, nope, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm moving on, to this. But I think like evolving without guilt is important.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to change. It's okay not to like that anymore. It's okay to want to be in a different space.
Yeah.
It's okay to not know who you are right now, but be in the position to start learning. Like date yourself. Like self partnering is important. Knowing who you are or what you want to be. What do you want to build?
Right.
That's important.
Because I think when we are like relearning a version of ourselves, like, yes, we have to be patient and we have to have grace. But there was something that you said that just triggered this thought. We don't go from like one version to the next. Like there is a transition period in there where it's uncomfortable and it might be hard and it might look scary and it might feel like unknown. That's that period where you have to give yourself the grace. That's that period where we are transitioning, we're shifting, we're growing. So that part isn't going to always be like beautiful and peaceful. Those are the lessons.
Yes.
Take those lessons with you to now create this new version.
Yes. And you can continue to grow as many freaking versions as you want. Like who cares what people think? I'm so over that.
Right? Like I am not the same version that I was 5 years ago. And this version is not going to be me 5 years from now. Like we change, things happen, we have different experiences, we learn different things. I mean, that's kind of what life is about, right?
Try new things. Why not? You know what I mean? Like be able to do things because you want to, not because you think, other people are going to like it or not like it. Like it's okay. It's okay to sit and say like, I'm unhappy right now. This doesn't feel good. Because when you do that, you can make the realization that maybe you're outgrowing something or someone in your life. You know what I mean? And make the decision for yourself. That is relearning that, wow, this doesn't make me feel good anymore.
Right.
This doesn't excite me the way that it used to anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I can move forward. I be telling my clients like, listen, right now in your 20s, what excites you doesn't excite me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't let me get a new like vacuum or cleaning tool. I'll be excited as hell.
Right.
Like I just got a juicer.
I know, you were like, too bad you're not here. Do you have juice?
Do I have juice?
Yeah.
No. I haven't opened it yet.
What the heck? You were like, too bad you're not closer. I could have brought you juice. I was thinking I was going to get juice today.
Oh no, that's like when I start making it.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I will see each other, so sure,
Perfect.
I'll make you some. But like, yeah, like, oh, I can't wait to go to the grocery store and buy some fruit and start juicing some shit. You know what I mean? Like, whereas like you're excited to go out tonight with your, whatever it is, to the club, like everything is going to change. You know what I mean? When you have kids, it's going to change. When you're married, it's going to change. If you're single and now in a relationship, it's going to change.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
One way or another. So give yourself, that freaking grace.
Absolutely.
Question.
Okay.
What is something about your old self that you had to let go?
I don't know how to put it into words.
Try it.
I feel like there is, like, when I look back, this is a hard question.
Put your ass on the spot.
And it's funny because I read it and I was like, I'm going to ask Diana before she asks me. Joke's on me. I feel like when I think about my past, like a past version of myself, there was like a lot of anxiety, a lot of insecurity. Yeah, anxiety and insecurity, I would say. And Lord knows I'm not perfect in those aspects, but definitely those. I
Okay.
feel like once I learned to let go that it really wasn't about me,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a game changer.
Nice.
I don't know how else to put that.
Yeah, no, that's good. You know, those are old things that didn't serve you. And now
Yeah.
you don't want to take it, you know, with you to this
Yeah, I don't want to put
new
that in my
version.
backpack anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I left it on the curb.
Love that.
Skibby. How about you? Because I do want to know your answer.
I think for me, definitely insecurities for sure. I've had to leave that. That was bad. You know, like I think it led to so much like people pleasing, not holding on to boundaries, you know, like I normally would, not having non-negotiables and stuff like that, because you don't really know who you are and you don't believe in your worth and your value.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I could never go back to that version.
Wow, we made it to the other
I
side.
know. And I tell my clients that all the time. Once you find that, I promise.
I know. I do it too.
Promise, you'll never go back. You won't even know how to go back. You know what I mean? And that was for me personally growing. You know what I mean? Because again, not that we're perfect, but
right. Not to say that I don't still have anxiety or insecurities and things like that, but I feel like the ones that I was holding on to really had to let go of them, or I'd never be where I am now.
Sure. I think it's coming to peace in terms and knowing like, okay, I have these things, but they're not who I am.
Yeah.
Everybody has insecurities.
Oh, absolutely.
In life. You know what I mean? But like they don't make me
right
or break me for that matter. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Oh well. Like there are people who love me for who I am. Regardless of whatever it is, and that's important to me.
One thing, I like that you just said that, because one thing that I always tell my clients, because I'm a very emotional person. We all know this.
No, you're not.
And I have a couple clients that are like, I just hate that I'm so emotional. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, some people love you for how emotional you are. Like, I'm going to start looking at that as my strength.
Can I tell you that every time I get a client who comes in that says that, I'm like, do you know that's a gift?
Yeah.
That is a gift. To be able to feel those things and to be able, you know, to experience that. A lot of people don't experience.
Right.
I have people who are like, I don't feel shit. Like, that's terrible. I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to manage and control it. And that's,
right.
you know,
that's the hard part.
Yeah, that's the hard part. But once you get that under control, that is definitely a gift. And I will say the other thing I had to let go of my old self in my relationship wise was thinking that I'm like so independent. I had to say that.
I think that's a good one. And I had a moment of reflection last night. I forget what it was. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, oh, can you do this for me? And I forget what Mike said. And I was like, but you just do it for me all the time. And it's so perfect. And he's like, better get used to it. And in my head, I was thinking like, I told him like, I'm so independent. I don't like people to help me. And now I'm like, can you make my coffee? Can you cover me up? Also last night in that same aspect, I laid in bed and I just like, because I don't make my bed, I like yank the blanket up and I'm just like, whatever. And he's like, we have to fix this blanket. And I'm like, okay, can you tuck me in? He did not.
Okay, good.
He did not. But
I was about to say, I'm fucking walking off this camera. I'm done with this episode. Grow the fuck up.
No, I was joking. But I wish I remembered what it was. Defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Guess you had to be there.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to let that go and it's been wonderful.
Okay. What is something that maybe you're still trying to figure out?
Everything.
Yeah. We're all just living for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think everything. But more recently and lately, I think just trying to get time back.
Okay.
That's it. Like, how can I be more present for myself? How can I be more present for my family? You know what I mean? How can I get more time? Because like you mentioned earlier, we work so much and I just don't want to. You know what I mean? So I'm still trying to figure that part out without losing who I am and
Right.
what I've built. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because we
but
work
just
so hard. I know, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm sure you too, but like I work so hard to get like here. Like I never thought I'd be here in in my life. I remember telling Jamal like when I was a little, I used to think like, how do people like afford houses? How do people, do this and that? And like you're in it, you're like, holy shit. Like I did that. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like still trying to figure all that out. And then also like that next journey of like what motherhood might look like.
I like that answer, but I'm going to interject you. I almost did, but I was like, let me not talk over her.
No, you did, and I just started talking over you again.
And I stopped. You
I
see?
know.
It worked.
Good job.
Thanks. If you were to slow down though, nobody's taking this from you. Like, even like I know what you mean. Like I've built this and I've worked so hard, but I feel like when you build something and you work so hard, like the hustle and bustle is to get where you are. If you continue to work and like not take back the time and not be present, what did you work so hard for? Because you're not going to enjoy it.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you can work so hard to get where you need to be. Great. Like by all means, I feel that. Like I need to work right now too so I can get to where I would like to be. But if we keep this up, you don't get to enjoy.
Yeah.
So you can make all the money in the world, but what are you going to do with that money if you can't enjoy it?
Yeah. I just feel like times are so freaking hard right now.
Yes, they are. I mean that too, for sure.
Yeah. So like how can I still be financially where I want to be with working half the time or less?
Buy less from TikTok Shop.
That part.
Okay.
And Amazon.
Yeah, where'd you get your juicer from?
Nama Well. That was on a website. I got the Nama J2.
Social media influences you.
Oh my God, so bad. I'm a consumer at this.
I know, but you be y'all always swiping on reels. That's where your shopping comes from.
Yeah, I know.
That's not good. If I catch myself on TikTok, I buy something.
I buy something all the time.
And
then it'd be like little things, but then I got like 100 little things.
Yeah.
Except the juicer, that was a big purchase.
Yeah, that's cool though. It's for your health and wellness, and y'all know y'all don't need poison over here. Whatever.
We don't need poison. I just gave you a little bit of poison earlier.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
In closing, I'm going to say work hard to get where you want to be, but make sure that when you're there and along the process, you give yourself grace, you are patient with yourself, you are kind to yourself, and you're present. I think that's the most important thing. Like throughout this process and throughout life, it's so important to be present because as we just said, like our versions of ourselves change so much throughout our life that if we're not present, how are we going to pay attention to what we need out of that season?
Yep. How are we going to pay attention to trying out new things, knowing that we don't like this feeling anymore, knowing what serves us and no longer serves us? You know what I mean? See what feels good, recognize those things. And it's okay if you don't understand. It's a work in progress. We're not going to stay the same. We're going to feel different. We're going to want to make some changes in our lives. Go for it.